So each time we've had these shifts, major shifts in technology, it's always actually, from my perspective, been an opportunity to rethink what education is really about, which isn't just simply rote memorization of information to regurgitate it in a nonsensical exam that has no meaning or relevance in the application of knowledge, skills, behaviours in the real world. And yet our natural reaction every time one of these big shifts comes along is to try to put a policy around it, try to stop it, try to control it. And that doesn't last very long. It probably lasted 1 to 2 years with the browser, because I've seen this movie before. I remember when Netscape came out and it was like Armageddon in higher education, because everybody's like, oh my goodness, they'll be able to type into a search box and have access to all of this information and not have to go to the library and hunt through library cards to find a book on a shelf, blah, 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 blah. So for me, the great challenge for us is being able to not fear it or try to have it simply automate tasks that we do ourselves, but to actually liberate the humans to do the higher value tasks, teaching, instructional design, that we need to actually equip the humans to do what we uniquely do best, at least for now, Richard. So if you think about the top 3 reasons why generative AI is being used by knowledge workers according to LinkedIn. Number 1, save time. Number 2, improve creativity. Number 3, improve focus. Those are 3 deeply human needs, particularly in a world where through the pace of change, today is the slowest day of the rest of your working life. And yet you're already tired, you're already a bit worn out from having to tackle challenge after challenge or change after change. And yet the inescapable reality is today is the slowest day of the rest of your working life. So back to your question, it's not just simply about what can we do to automate things we already do. It's about thinking intentionally about how do we partner with it? How do we use it as a partner for ourselves, for our teams, for our institutions, to get it to take care of the low value tasks that aren't a very good use of the human's time, not to save money, but to free the humans up to do the stuff that we are uniquely good at, and ironically is where all the value is for our students and ourselves in our ambition as educators.
So if we think to that scene of what it's like to be at the coalface right at the moment in that learning and teaching space, where there's a lot of change happening, and then we're talking about an overlay of AI, and then we have all the thought that we're going to have to put into, well, okay, we've got a generation in universities and we're going to need to bring them on a journey of how they become AI proficient. When I think about that, I think back, and you may remember this, learning Pascal and BASIC.
Yeah, sure do.
And I remember
I'm a DOS wizard, just nobody cares anymore.
And I remember at high school we were all told that we had to learn this because if we didn't learn it, we'd be left behind by the desktop computing age. Then my kids learned how to make apps when they were in about grade 2. They were teaching them, they were making their own apps because in order to survive in the app world, you'd have to be a maker of apps. And I think there's currently billions of app users in the world, and of those billions of app users, there's about a million people who actually build apps. And of those, and the something like 1 million apps a year uploaded into Google and Apple, only 100,000 or so actually have any life. So it's actually a very small set. Is that a good model for thinking about what will happen in AI? I guess what I'm asking is everybody going to become a producer of AI agents to run their life, or are we going to move into a working environment where that becomes a little bit more part of the platforms that we work on that are organised by expert AI builders? How would you? What would your advice be around that?
So the flip side of your very relevant observation about the number of apps versus the number of apps being used by people in a meaningful way, I think is a good way to think about generative AI. I think at the end of the day, the market will coalesce around a limited number of large language models, pieces of technology, user interfaces. There's a certain inevitability of consolidation with technology just because the investment is so high. But the flip side is, what percentage of human beings are using apps every day? And that is very, very high. History's not kind to humanity when the power coalesces in the hands of a very small number of people who can't be challenged. Right. So I think we're getting very sort of philosophical now, but I deeply believe universities and tertiary institutions have to step up in this moment of shift and accept the responsibility for doing it the right way. So any university that isn't deeply thinking about how to equip our students and staff to survive and thrive in a world where AI is out, it's never coming back, Pandora's box is never being closed, and therefore now is our time to step up. Or if they're stuck in a world of 2-year program development cycles or program refresh cycles, in either of those scenarios, they will fail their social responsibility to equip their students and staff to survive and thrive in life and work. You said 3 things. I think that the first that I would touch on is just for universities to understand that Pandora's box is open with generative AI. There is no going back. That's not because of the technology, that's because of why humans love using the technology, and it's unstoppable. So trying to resist it, trying to control it, trying to defend against it is a complete and utter waste of our time and effort. What we need to do is to ensure that we intentionally use it the right way, and we help our staff and students understand through AI literacy how to do it the right way, use it the right way, and how to actually help it enrich our lives and the lives of our communities rather than do it damage and harm. That'd be the first. The second would be, we have to step up to our responsibility to embrace learners of all ages and types, backgrounds, locations, all the things that we've been talking about. Those universities that are going to sail into very choppy waters are those that are going to be stuck in the tyranny of conventional wisdom, thinking that every student is going to fit into a neat little type of undergraduate student, postgraduate taught student, maybe a little bit of CPD, basically doing what we've always done. It's just not going to work, and those universities are going to have a crisis of both relevance and subsequently revenue very, very quickly. That would be so in other words, beware the tyranny of conventional wisdom, step out of a defensive mindset, move to an adaptive mindset, which is about opportunity thinking, but with an ethical lens. That would be the second thing I would say. And then the third thing that we need to do, in my opinion, is have the courage to rethink what graduateness needs to look like holistically in what we're doing. What do our graduates of all types really need to be equipped with to achieve their ambition for work and their ambition for life?